Meyer! I'll get you, Meyer! Aloha, weenies. Send me your art that I can use on the channel. Links in the description. If you ever get the blues, if you ever get down, don't reach for the bottle. That's the problem. Reach for the book that will adjust your attitude. No, I'm not talking about the big book. I, of course, am referring to the latest comic by Mags Visaggio. I bet you guys thought I was going to misgender her. Or I guess correctly gender her, because using her preferred pronouns are misgendering her. I guess we need a new term where misgendering someone to sort of entertain their delusions is actually the polite thing to do. Maybe one of you can come up with a new term. Something that means, hey, we're entertaining your mental illness for the sake of politeness. I'm joking a little, but I still am not sure about the whole thing of calling a man a woman. But they are women, you bigot. But they're not. They're just not women, because they're men. Because, logic, I don't know, a causal universe. I mean, can we just stop lying, people? Is that a woman or a man? I don't know. They gave her little pointy things that are supposed to be breasts. Maybe. I kind of feel like we're in Germany or Austria post 1918. Hedonism and degeneracy grew exponentially. Everyone talks about burning books, but not what books were burned. The stuff that they're teaching kids today could definitely get tossed on the bonfire. Books like Billy Wants to Be Brenda, or I Have 3 Dads and One of Them is a Sheep. They have men in dresses reading to your children. The elite's children in private schools, they don't get drag queens corrupting their children. There are different rules for different people. So yeah, it probably doesn't matter if we call men women. In fact, we may want to accelerate things. If they want this strange new world, then let's give it to them. If you're a big bearded guy, make them call you by female pronouns. Identify as a trans, lesbian, African, Jewish woman, whatever you want. If that's how you feel, go for it. This brave new world is allowing many of us to explore many strange and terrible pathways. If we live in a world where one sex may be the other sex, then anything is possible. If you always felt like you were half Arab, half Latina, then girlfriend, you go for it. Make sure that people respect your pronouns. Use the ladies' room. Compete in sports. Accelerate it. Make everyone see how absurd the whole thing is. And finally, I will say that with the sports thing, it seems like people are starting to catch on, because women are saying, hey, we're missing out not only on the prizes, but those prizes, those first and second places lead to scholarships. And we compete in a race with 2 men. Well, they're taking first and second place. We're competing for third place. And that means we don't have a college scholarship. Nobody has a problem with that? Nope. Because it's not politically correct to have a problem with it in Joker world. If you're unfamiliar with who Mags Visaggio is, I would show a photograph here, but I'm going to try to be a kinder, gentler Bianca. I won't show a photo. She is a communist living in the best country on earth. It's the unbelievable gall of these people who have never actually accomplished anything in their lives, but they think that Karl Marx is a god instead of just being a common grifter who never accomplished anything. And well, unless you count the 100 million dead bodies that communism left behind. They make very, very good bone gardens. I made a video a few months ago where Mags is sitting at a table in a fairly empty convention. She was crying about how empty it was. And then one of her acolytes came up and said, cheer up, it'll get better later. Mags explained that it was later. It had been like that all weekend. Mags was sad about a dead industry that she helped extinguish. Nobody wants to see an empty convention. It's just kind of sad. But maybe your buddy Mark Waid and the other comic book professionals, in quotes, shouldn't have been gatekeepers to Richard Meyer, Ethan Van Sciver, Mike Miller, John Malin, Donald Zalay, and everyone else associated with Comicsgate. Comicsgate was the best thing to happen to comics in years, and these idiots tried to destroy it, though, to be fair, it seemed like we were entirely capable of destroying a good thing ourselves. More on that later. I don't know. Maybe people are getting tired of Comicsgate drama. I don't know. Anyway, why wouldn't Mags, Wade, and the rest of mainstream comics welcome an influx of new fans? We don't want their money because they're voting for Trump. Can you guys hear yourselves? Do you know how insane you sound? First of all, Trump is just a milquetoast moderate who hasn't deported many people or built the wall. America is still being destroyed by the globalists. Trump is just slowing things down a little bit. Trump isn't a Mao who is going to start committing atrocities. Second, your industry must be in an amazing financial position where it can turn away customers. Plot twist, it's not. Mark Wade may be a millionaire living in Malibu, but his co-workers aren't so lucky. It seems a bit weird that Mark Wade feels comfortable in turning down business for everyone in the industry. Thanks for speaking for them, Mark. The little people on your big, broad shoulders, you 60-year-old douche. A rising tide lifts all boats. Comicsgate got people excited about comics. And if you follow comics, you know why that is a difficult task. Because modern comics are very, very racist against the nicest people on earth. You white people. It's a strange business plan to racially discriminate against your audience. Let's see how that plays out for you guys. You know, it's weird, but I think that if you ask people like Mags and the other less successful people in comics, they would probably agree with Mark Wade. They've been drinking the Kool-Aid for so long that they're just brainwashed. Oh, that's a woman in the image. Because she has long hair. That's how you can tell it's a woman. So Mags writes these books that nobody reads. And I'm not trying to be funny here. The only reason Mags continues to get work is because Mags is literally a man wearing a dress. Does wearing a dress make you a better writer? No, unfortunately not. You are the same man before you put on the dress. But whatever, those are hate facts and are not allowed because we live in a world of jokers. Believe it or not, YouTube has a problem with the phrase that means, quote, Joker world, unquote, substitute the word Joker for something else. By this time next year, YouTube is just going to be unboxing and cute cat videos. There will be nothing excited. YouTube is going to be just as edgy as a spoon. All this is a long preamble to Strangelands. In a sane world, this book would never get made. Well, Bianca, just because you don't like it doesn't mean that other people... Yeah, except nobody likes it. That's the point. Mag's books make it to 4 or 5 issues. Not even kidding. And they get canceled. But that's not the end of the issues. Mags just gets put on new projects. Why? Because Mags is a diversity hire. Eisner award-winning Mags Visaggio. All that means is that the awards aren't worth anything. Look at the people who win the awards in SJW Industries. Science fiction writing, comics, whatever. They're all controlled by SJWs. Do you think it's a coincidence that the winners are all purple-haired, childish weirdos with hashtag resist in their Twitter? None of whom can actually write. If you are a man in a dress, you are not there on merit. You're there because you're a purse puppy. Want proof? Let's take a look at Strangeland 4. I know the art isn't Mag's fault, but it is a weird coincidence that in all Mags's books, the women just look like skinny men. Literally all of them. Even the ancillary characters who have no risk of being victims of that savage male gaze. Good thing I identify as female. Okay, you can have one flat-chested chick in a comic, but not every single female is going to be flat-chested. Kind of an unfortunate coloring choice there to give her a handkerchief or a scarf the same color as her skin. It's just confusing. Oh, look, there's her boobs that don't exist. They don't even draw. Look at her hips. Okay, look at her shoulders, her boobs, her waist, her hips. Notice the proportions and the ratios. That's a straight line, almost a straight line. Women don't have straight lines because they have a different anatomy. Listen, I know trans people, and I get along with trans people very, very well. They're fine, they're great, but they're not. The ones I know are not delusional. They know they're men who enjoy cross-dressing, or I mean, more than cross-dressing. They identify as women, but they know they're men. They're not crazy. The thing with Mags' books is they do this thing where the characters look more like men. Everyone's just kind of you're unsure because anyone could be anyone. Except we all know that's not true. I mean, it's as ridiculous. Oh, there's another chick. It's as ridiculous to say a cat can be a dog. I know that's kind of an overused expression, but it's just. I mean, at some point, the emperor has no clothes. At some point, people have to wake up and say, "This is just nonsense." Meyer. Yeah, nobody cares about this Ignited H1 humanoid series with a bunch of freaking people with agendas. Quentin Peoples and Dennis Carhello. You people look like you have some serious agendas. Dark days for comics. I was talking to somebody in the comments, and we're saying, when did comics seem to die? And I said they kind of died in the early 90s, and people were saying, I don't know. Some people said in the 80s, some people said 2000 and early 2000s. I don't know what these are, but these are not comics. They're like chick tracks for the woke people. At least they're scissoring. It's kind of hot, right? All right, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys all next episode.